Welcome. Today I'm joined by Direct Supply and I'm very excited to be kind of talking through a little bit of their journey with pros. My name is Cody Nagy. I've had the privilege of working with Direct Supply within kind of the customer success function for numerous years now at this point. And again, I'm really excited to kind of double click on a lot of these things with you here. So I guess just for starters, Holly, would you love to just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Holly Haddon. I'm a senior pricing analyst at Direct Supply. Direct Supply is a distributor in the senior living industry, so we supply products to nursing homes, skilled nursing, senior living, assisted living. Pretty much anything you could need in a nursing home, from wheelchairs and beds to commercial food service equipment to furniture that would be in your common areas. So wide swaths of products with a wide range of competitors. We have about 500,000 categorized products, so lots to manage.
And if I recollect, a physical catalog.
We do print a physical catalog.
Yep.
It was about this thick when I started at Direct Supply.
It's like a phone book.
And we have scaled it back, but yes, it is quite large.
It's quite impressive indeed. So that's a little bit about kind of who you are as a company and your catalog. So now a little bit around kind of your pros journey. We're going on 8+ years at this point. Would you be able to expand a little bit around kind of the solution that you're leveraging today and kind of how it's kind of flowing through your business and what it's solving for?
Absolutely. So we started working with pros in 2017, which is right around the time that I joined the strategic pricing team. So I've been with pros from the beginning of our journey, our shared journey. And so we use smart price management to manage our catalog pricing, so more of our list pricing, non-contracted, on all 500,000 of those categorized items. We actually do manage 4 pricing levels within our catalog, so we call it A, B, C, and D. And so 500,000 products times 4 pricing levels is about 2 million price records that we are managing in the smart price management tool. So prior to pros, we were doing all of that in spreadsheets. So you can imagine that becomes no longer sustainable. We had about 50,000 categorized items when I started, and then we went on kind of a mass categorization journey, and we needed a better tool to manage all that. So that was one of the major reasons that we decided to invest in a pricing software. And then we do also use smart price optimization. We're using it on a relatively small portion of our business, just our spot discounting, which is about 10% of our revenue. And so it is integrated into our 30-year-old homegrown quoting system. But when a seller is on the phone with a customer and is looking for a pricing recommendation, there's a button that's integrated right into our homegrown system that takes them out and shows them that pricing envelope of Floor Target and Expert. So our sellers, we have about 200 inside sellers. Prior to having any sort of pricing solution, we had 200 different pricing strategies going out the door whenever sellers were discounting. So just to add some kind of structure around that has been really great.
Absolutely, and I think just to applaud you guys have been able to drive a lot of adoption and positive effect with optimization for your sellers. And I think, we talked through different nuances. Obviously, one challenge you mentioned is kind of just scale, massive catalog, maintaining all those price records. You obviously can't physically do that yourself, across spreadsheets, right? Were there any other challenges that kind of you were seeing within your business, or even over those 8 years, kind of as the business has evolved and the pro solution has evolved, that you've tackled and you want to highlight today?
The automated pricing workflows have been just an absolute lifesaver for us. Having so many products, we get cost changes from our manufacturers all the time. And so prior to having any sort of solution, it was, here's an email with, here's what all the cost changes are. And then our operations team would have to reach out to the product manager and say, hey, we got this cost increase. Do you want to change the price? Lots of emails, lots of spreadsheets, just really inefficient, and so much margin leakage because you just then don't update your price at all.
How long would it typically take?
I mean, it could take weeks.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, not efficient at all. And so really, we started implementing our automatic pricing workflows. We have some kind of business rules in place where our core kind of key products do still stop for a product manager to review them, but the vast majority of the products just flow through right away. We pass through those cost changes on the pricing side. We also recently implemented a cool thing with your team of what we call fast up, slow down. So when our costs increase, we do pass those through right away. But if we don't get too many of them today given the tariff environment, but if we were to get a cost decrease from our manufacturers, we would hold it for 30 days before we pass it through on the pricing side. So just having 30 extra days of a little bit extra margin before just passing it through right away. So that's been really cool, and we're seeing some great returns from that.
Absolutely. I mean, if the market demonstrates the ability to consume the elevated price, why reduce it, right?
And yes, and it gives our product managers time to kind of review what is going on in the market. Sometimes, our sourcing team might have negotiated that discount just for us, but the market is not taking that decrease. So we know that then we have an advantage position, and it gives the product managers a little bit of time to react and decide what they want to do with the pricing instead of the system passing it through right away.
Absolutely. So automate a lot, still have the human element there, kind of balancing both those things. Now, you mentioned kind of the T word, tariffs. Again, I think top of mind for many folks, especially anyone living in the pricing community for the past few weeks or months. So could you maybe talk a little bit kind of what tariffs mean for direct supply and kind of how you're tackling that and approaching those today?
Yeah, so we do a lot of private labeling where a lot of our products are coming from overseas. And then we also are just, getting products from our suppliers. So we are taking cost increases on all fronts, doing our best to mitigate. So on the private labeling side, we are looking at moving some manufacturing, sometimes even back to the United States to try and avoid some of that tariff. But even temporarily, it's not always avoidable. And so having these automated pricing systems in place is just huge for us. On the catalog side, we really can pass through increases as fast or as slow as we want. So we're trying to take an approach of, we don't want to be first to market necessarily with the increase. So just monitoring our competitors and then ready to pass through whenever we're ready to do so. And then on our contract side, being a little bit more cautious and taking, probably a couple strategic price changes to our contract customers all at once and kind of bundling instead of doing it piecemeal.
Yeah, makes total sense. I think the CEO of Ford put it when asked about tariffs, it's all costs and chaos. And the cool thing is you have a really, really great way of automating and managing your cost adjustments and then rolling that through to prices, getting that to market. And obviously having the checks and balances in place to make sure that you're doing that in a smart manner and not just pushing things through,
yes.
Maybe sharing some value with your end customer, protecting the customer experience and stuff like that. So I'm curious, any specific outcomes that you've seen aside from obviously, I guess one benefit is, weeks. Previously it was weeks to get cost changes reflecting the prices, now down to a day, right? Potentially everything's automated. Any other benefits you might have seen just from working with the pro solution within the direct supply organization, anything like that?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about smart price optimization because I've talked about smart price management so much, which is really my area of expertise. But I think, being at this conference and talking to other customers, I hear a lot of talk about how do you get sellers to jump on board? And I feel like we jumped over that hurdle really well. We had an executive sponsor who also oversaw the sales organization. So that helps when he lays down the hammer and says, you have to use this tool, and had some reporting in place about when sellers are discounting, are they checking it, first of all? That was kind of the first hurdle. Are they looking at it? Not necessarily are they using it to price, but just are they viewing it? And then once we got there, then it was moving into, okay, let's put some goals around how often we're actually pricing at that target price. And so sellers really like it. We always hear really positive feedback about it. And we have the proof in the numbers that sellers who are discounting when they are using the guidance are making higher margins than those who are not. So how can you argue with that?
That's an easy sell.
Easy sell.
Right? I think there are three key elements just to tease that out. You have the executive buy-in, right? The champion on sales organization. You have the alignment of incentives, right? I think that's crucial, right? The kind of what's in it for me, which really is you have higher margins. Why not adopt this? And then something I think is really cool is I know your team has worked and built this impressive dashboard set of analytics so that you can very acutely track the adoption of the optimization so you can identify maybe where there might be gaps or otherwise, again, take those KPIs, bring them back to sales folks and have that kind of feedback loop, right? So
yes, that's exactly right.
Tracked and
The sales managers get a report from my teammate every Monday with here's the numbers, here's how your team looks. And if a certain team starts to slip, they know that they might hear about it from the big boss. And so they can go have those conversations with their sellers of, hey, I saw that you discounted quite a bit. Was there a special circumstance or what's the deal?
Yep, it's like change management 101 and it works, right? So to close this out, I guess, I'm curious if there are any particular elements that you would highlight in terms of what's really made this partnership with pros successful from kind of your perspective. What was that kind of, any key catalysts, or what overall maybe what you appreciated most?
Yeah. Well, we love working with Cody, and we've been with you for a few years now, but you guys are just always so responsive, and even if you don't know the answers, you know someone who does. And so seeing, the way you guys work and your clear path of escalation, and anytime I open a support ticket, you guys are on it and you're saying, hey, where are we at with this? Do you need anything else from us? And so just always feeling supported from you and your team, and really appreciate that.
Well, excellent. I think that concludes all of the questions. Again, Holly, thank you very much for kind of sitting down and chatting through these with me today, and I'm looking forward to continuing this partnership for many more years to come.
Absolutely. Cool. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.